Hello everybody, this is Extreme Nick 09 and today we are going to be doing our WrestleMania 36 predictions, the Nick's picks for WrestleMania 36. It has been a strange build to WrestleMania and it has been a not WrestleMania feeling week leading into WrestleMania, and it's going to be probably the weirdest WrestleMania of all time. Maybe. I have a lot of faith in WWE when I know I probably shouldn't. But I feel like with the extra amount of time and everything being pre-taped and them having the chance to maybe go back and edit or go back and fix things and get the best, to make sure they get the best outcome with these matches, I'm hoping for the best, maybe expecting the worst, but I do have faith that maybe we'll end up getting something out of this that's not too bad, right? So we'll see. It's going to be the first WrestleMania, big and too big for one night. It's going to be happening Saturday and Sunday this weekend, and we have 16 matches listed. I was going to wait until after Friday to do this prediction video because I wanted to make sure I got the last announcements in case anything was changed and whatnot, but I'm going to go ahead and do it since there is 16. I know it was rumored there's going to be 8 matches on each night, so since there's already 16 announced, I feel like that's going to be the actual card, you know, with some changes that are going to be made. So let's go ahead and get this started. There's not going to be really a specific order because Wikipedia just kind of has them listed here. But number one, we have Otis versus Dolph Ziggler with Mandy Rose. So this has been actually one of the better builds to WrestleMania, actually. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's like the most exciting of matches, but at least we have a story, at least we have a build, and it actually reminds me of back in the day whenever the undercard of WrestleMania still had purpose and wasn't just random matches thrown together between guys. So I'm actually pretty excited about this one. It's Dolph Ziggler's very first singles match at WrestleMania, and it's going to happen in front of no audience whatsoever. So Dolph always gets the short end of the stick, it feels like. I see Otis picking up the win here, even though I would love to see Mandy Rose help Dolph win and create a heel team with the two of them, because I think they look good together. I think if she would play the heel, she'd look like, I think that her character just looks like a heel and her characteristics and whatnot. I think her and Dolph would be great, and would also give Dolph something to do coming out of WrestleMania and have somebody by his side that can help him pick up wins and make him credible again. But the way Vince works and the way I see things working out for this one in particular, I see Vince making Mandy Rose get involved and for Otis instead of Dolph. So I feel like Mandy Rose is going to end up getting involved in one way or another and end up making Dolph lose the match. I even read something that Dolph may end up teaming up with Sonya Deville instead, going against these two or something like that. So we'll see, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Otis just because, you know, everything's been against him these last few weeks, and I feel like Vince is going to be the guy that says Mandy Rose needs to be with Otis. You know, that's just the way I feel he's going to end up doing this. So Dolph Ziggler versus Otis. I got Otis. Up next, we have the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss and Nicki Cross. Obviously, a lot of these matches are going to have changes made to them and whatnot. I know this match was originally rumored to have Natalya and Beth Phoenix in it, which I don't see us getting that. I see the Kabuki Warriors winning here. Asuka's been hot on these empty arena nights lately. I mean, she's been getting a ton of attention. She's been getting on commentary, cutting promos, and she's just been hilarious, honestly. And I feel like Alexa Bliss and Nicki Cross don't need the tag team championships. I really don't even like them as a team all that much. But Alexa doesn't need the tag team titles again with Nicki Cross. I think the Kabuki Warriors need to pick up a win here and keep their momentum going. So I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors. Up next, we have Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, accompanied by Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, going one-on-one against Daniel Bryan, who is going to be accompanied by Drew Gulak. This is a hard one to kind of pinpoint where they want to go with this. It seems like Daniel Bryan should win. Drew Gulak and him are a great team together, but I just don't know if that's the route they're going to go here. Sami Zayn's title reign just started at the Elimination Chamber. So unless they're just using him as a transitional champion to kind of get the belt off of Braun Strowman and on to Daniel Bryan. I see Sami going on and winning this match. And it's because Daniel doesn't need the Intercontinental title. He can lose in a fashion here that's caused by Cesaro and Nakamura. This feud can go on. But I don't think Sami keeping the belt, his first singles title run since moving to the main roster, I don't really see that helping by him just losing it right away. So I feel like, and I also think that he will gain more if Sami Zayn can keep the belt, keep it away from Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak, and then maybe end up whenever the Artist Collective break up, maybe end up getting in a feud with Cesaro or Shinsuke Nakamura. So I'm going to go with Sami Zayn retains the Intercontinental Championship. Up next, we have Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match in what I think is going to be the show stealer of both nights. Just because it has the best build to WrestleMania, one of the best builds to WrestleMania I've seen in years, honestly. And it's a shame that Edge's return match has to be in front of nobody. But I feel like these guys are going to use the whole empty arena. Like, I feel like they're going to be going everywhere in this place. I feel like they're going to tear each other apart. And it makes the most sense for Edge to get his retribution on Randy Orton. Orton's not going to take nothing and losing to Edge. It's not going to hurt him. And I just feel like Edge comes out of this as the winner, obviously. And I don't know where that takes us in the future with Edge. I imagine he's going to take time off again, at least until all this virus stuff is over with. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Edge. Up next, we have one of the matches that finally did get a little bit of build on last week's SmackDown with Baron Corbin, or King Corbin, tossing Elias off of like that side stage thing. So it's going to be kind of like he kind of did the Mufasa thing. Scar throwing down Mufasa. The match is still on, though. I kind of almost thought that they were going to replace Elias, and that was the way of writing him out of it, and maybe put in Jeff Hardy or somebody else who kind of is on the roster. I was just kind of begging for Jeff Hardy to get a spot at WrestleMania, honestly, and it kind of bums me out that he returned to an empty arena for 1 week, missed SmackDown the past 2 weeks, and we haven't seen him since, and now there's no WrestleMania match for him, but guys like Elias and King Corbin can squeeze onto the card. Whatever. I'm going to go with Elias here. King Corbin, it makes sense for Corbin to win, but Elias, when's the last time Elias got a win that mattered? When's the last time Elias got a win, period? I know King Corbin keeps getting fed to guys that like Jeff beat him on his return, and King Corbin loses a lot as well, but Corbin, I mean, he's one of the better heels in WWE right now, but I don't really see him gaining as much as Elias does off winning here. Elias needs to get the big revenge win and move forward, maybe with some momentum. I don't know if you'll get any momentum by beating King Corbin, but it's just one of those matches that doesn't make sense. But I'm going to go with Elias. I am glad they did some build to it, though. Gronk's the reason this is happening, apparently, and I am glad they did, like I said, the thing last week where they kind of where Corbin threw him off. At least it gives the match purpose. Up next, we have Alistair Black versus Bobby Lashley. That's the other one on the card that really just makes absolutely no sense. I don't even think we've seen these guys get into an argument or tie up under any reason, or there's not really a reason why this is happening. But with that being said, there's not much to say about it. Alistair Black has been racking up wins against nobodies on Raw, and I haven't seen Bobby Lashley in quite some time, I feel like, unless I just overlooked him on Raw during one of these empty arenas. But I'm going to give the win to Alistair Black. He's been on a tear lately, even though it's been against enhancement talent. But Bobby Lashley, I mean, what is he? I mean, Alistair Black gains the most from winning this match, and I'm hoping they go ahead and go with Alistair Black, even though WWE being WWE will most likely just give Bobby Lashley a win that he doesn't need. And Alistair Black needs to be established as a main eventer, and he needs to go ahead and pick up a win here at WrestleMania and just keep that momentum going. So Alistair Black. Up next, we have the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, defending against Austin Theory and Angel Garza with Selena Vega. Now, this match is new because Andrade and Angel Garza were supposed to be going for the tag team championships, and this is one of those matches that have been thrown together due to the fact that a lot of changes have happened with the WrestleMania card. And Rey Mysterio is supposed to be involved with the United States Championship at some point during this. I'm sure Humberto was supposed to as well. And then also, as you know, Andrade being the United States Champion, they ended up throwing this match together with him in it. And now Angel Garza gets injured. Now Andrade gets injured and he's out of the match. So now we bring up Zelina Vega has brought up Austin Theory from the NXT roster, and now they will be going for the tag team championships. I mean, I think for a big swerve, give the belts to Angel Garza and Austin Theory, but I don't see it happening. Even though Zelina Vega is a wonderful manager and I enjoy her, and I think Austin Theory is super talented. I think Angel Garza is one of the brightest spots on the roster in general. I think he's going to be a star. But I don't see the Street Profits losing the belts here because they haven't had a very long reign, and they also need the win as well. And honestly, them coming out on top at WrestleMania is going to be a feel-good moment anyway or whatever. So I see them giving it to the Street Profits and then retaining their championships. Up next, we have The Miz and John Morrison versus Big E and Kofi Kingston, The New Day versus The Usos in a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, reminiscent of the triangle ladder match they had that happened at WrestleMania 16 between the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. Another match that has a lot of question marks around it because at one point I heard The Miz wasn't going to be in this match at all. I heard The Miz got sent home. I don't know if that was after or before this match was taped. So this is one of those matches that I think going into SmackDown, we're going to have some clarity to. But this is one of those ones that also has the chance to steal the show completely. These guys, we know the New Day and the Usos work well together in pretty much any kind of circumstance you throw them into. So a ladder match is no different. And The Miz and John Morrison are solid too. John Morrison is going to have a lot of big spots here. And The Miz is as consistent as a wrestler as you can pretty much get on the roster. So, going into this one, it's one of the harder ones to kind of pinpoint who's going to win this match as well. And that's because Miz and John Morrison, if it was taped and The Miz was sick or got sick afterwards, then I imagine he drops the championships to somebody. Even though I don't know what's really going on. I don't know where The Miz really lands in this because it was also rumored The Miz is the reason that Roman Reigns pulled out of the main event or one of the main events because The Miz got sick. The Usos told Roman about it. They were frustrated with The Miz for showing up maybe. I'm not really sure what's going on. This has been a crazy, crazy time in professional wrestling and the world in general. But so this is one of those ones that are hard to pinpoint. The New Day getting a win here. If Xavier Woods was around, I feel like that makes sense. Or if Xavier Woods was cleared to wrestle and he ran in and caused them to win, that makes sense. So I'm going to go with the kind of like the dark horses in the match, the Usos to win the tag team championships. And I'm basing that off of the fact that if there was any kind of complication with The Miz, then I feel like he had to drop the belts or maybe he's out of the match, something like that. I'm not sure. They may end up just scratching John Morrison and The Miz in general and having a ladder match between the New Day and the Usos for the number one contenderships for whenever this can actually happen. I know they had the match to determine, but they both ended up losing or winning, whatever they ended up doing. And so it's just a hard one to pinpoint. Either way, I'm going to give the win to the Usos, new tag team champions. And if not, I give the win to the Usos to win the number one contendership if they end up changing it. Up next, we have a singles match between Kevin Owens and the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. One of my favorite matches on the card here. Another one kind of hard to pick a winner, but I think it's almost for sure that Kevin Owens wins here. Seth Rollins is big. It has a great build-up. They've been great on the mic leading up to this. Seth Rollins has basically said that Kevin Owens' WrestleMania moments and WrestleMania career has been nothing but a failure. So with that being said, usually in these kind of storylines, Kevin Owens is going to end up getting his WrestleMania moment at the expense of Seth Rollins. I also think Kevin Owens needs the win. Seth Rollins is going to be established regardless. Kevin's kind of lost steam over the past few years. I feel like he hasn't been doing as much, and I feel like he needs the win over a guy like Seth Rollins at WrestleMania to pick up the win. He's going to end up being put right back in the mix of things. So I'm going to give the win to Kevin Owens. Up next, we have The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match, which I'm being told is similar to a Buried Alive match, but they didn't want to use the words because of the current virus going around. So we have a Boneyard match. This is going to be one of the matches that takes place outside of the Performance Center in its own setting. So I imagine some crazy matchup with AJ Styles and The Undertaker running around a graveyard or something to that extent. I'm actually excited to see how this one plays out because this is one of those matches, along with the John Cena Bray Wyatt match, that really strikes me as something WWE can do right. They've had a lot of time to put this stuff together. They've had a lot of time to, go ahead and pre-tape this match, make sure every little thing is correct with it, and they can kind of put it together like a movie or something, They actually have the time to go through the editing and make sure everything looks okay and make sure the spots are all right, redo them if they aren't right. I just feel like there's a chance that this is going to end up surprising some people. I mean, it's AJ Styles and The Undertaker. As long as The Undertaker is in a decent enough condition to go ahead and work a match, this is going to be right up his alley because it takes a lot of the stress of working an actual match in the ring off of The Undertaker because now you're going to have things to play with. There's going to have a lot of storytelling involved in this one. It's going to have a ton of theatrics, I imagine, and things like that, and a lot of mind games from The Undertaker to AJ Styles. And the winner here, it'd be a crazy swerve if AJ Styles gets the win. Undertaker being the American badass right now, pretty much. And The Undertaker also saying he wants Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to be there. There is the chance that they end up jumping Undertaker and throwing him in the grave, whatever it may be, and winning the match. I'm going to go ahead and give the match win to The Undertaker. AJ Styles has been making fun of Michelle McCool, and which is The Undertaker's wife. And I think Undertaker gets his revenge and his retribution on AJ Styles here at WrestleMania. And it doesn't hurt AJ Styles to lose to The Undertaker. I mean, it's not going to hurt him at all. Up next, we have a fatal five-way elimination match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. We have the champion Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks versus Tamina. I'm guessing Carmella is at home self-isolating because I don't see why she would have missed this match otherwise. Especially with we had Dana Brooke in this match. It was going to be a 6-pack challenge, but I think she's one of the other wrestlers that had to pull out of WrestleMania due to complications with the virus as well. So there's two names in here that I can go ahead and toss out as winners, and that's Tamina and Lacey Evans. Tamina is as random as it gets when it comes to being in this match, unless they just want to pull the super swerve on us and give it to somebody out of the blue like that. Naomi's a great champion, but the story here is between Bayley and Sasha Banks. We saw whenever the match was announced, Sasha Banks kind of gave a look to Bayley. That's where this story lies, is between those two. The other three are just kind of in the match to just get spots on WrestleMania and make it more interesting. And you can't just have Sasha Banks turn on Bayley because she gets the title shot. You have to have it play out within the match. So Sasha Banks is going to want that championship, and I think Sasha Banks is going to be the one to dethrone Bayley and win the championship at WrestleMania. She's going to betray her, turn face, whatever she has to do, but the winner is going to be Sasha Banks, new SmackDown Women's Champion. Up next, we have John Cena versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt in a Firefly Funhouse match, and this is the second match, including the Boneyard match, that I feel like WWE can do amazing things with, just because the amount of time they've had to figure it out. Also, the pre-tape thing helps this kind of match because now you can play with it. Now you can add things here, add things there, edit things there and here. I think this is going to be one of the most interesting matches at WrestleMania, and I think that The Fiend's obviously going to get his big win here. John Cena owes it to Bray to kind of do the deed for him after the WrestleMania situation, and John Cena has been said to want to come back and do this for Bray. And I think that it's a very important thing to do. I think The Fiend, after losing to Goldberg at the Saudi Arabia show, it's just because The Fiend wasn't that worried about Goldberg. The Fiend literally said he's not part of my plan. He's not part of where my path has taken me, and neither is the championship really. My path is leading me to John Cena to get revenge on what he did to me years ago. So The Fiend, like I said, this match is going to be fun. If done correctly, I'd hope it's not too over the top, but I'm down for theatrics. I'm down for this being something like a movie playing out with a bunch of storytelling, a bunch of talking throughout the match, and I think it's going to be a pretty good match. So I'm going to go with The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Up next, we have Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, defending against Shayna Baszler. This is one of those ones that have also had a pretty good build-up. We saw Shayna Baszler get the best of Becky Lynch the other night on Raw, slamming her up against the announce table. And this has been one of the ones that actually does have some good build. Like I said, some of these matches are kind of randomly thrown together and put on here. Other matches actually have meaning, and this is one of the ones that have meaning. And there's going to be somewhat of not a passing of the torch really, but Becky Lynch is going to drop the belt to Shayna Baszler. It's one of the ones that's one of the easiest predictable matches on the card. Just like it was known that Shayna Baszler was going to win an Elimination Chamber, to get this opportunity is pretty much known that Shayna is going to end up winning this championship from Becky Lynch. Up next, we have Goldberg defending the WWE's Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. Scratch Roman Reigns, insert Braun Strowman. As soon as Roman Reigns, all the news hit the internet that Roman Reigns was pulling out of this match, which 100% kudos to him for taking care of himself and putting his health above the product, because his immune system is a little bit different because of the leukemia that he had. So kudos to him for worrying about his family and his own health and not being, sucked into just doing this WrestleMania card. If you're going to miss one, miss this one anyway. So, Braun Strowman was the obvious answer, because I looked up and down the whole entire roster when I was talking to one of my buddies and I was trying to find a replacement here. And the only guys that came to mind that would even be enough star power to make sense would be Braun Strowman. I threw Jeff Hardy's name in there, but I know they would have fed him to Goldberg. And Braun Strowman's also the only guy that's going to be credible to defeat Goldberg. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns was going to be scheduled to win this belt from Goldberg. So now I see Braun Strowman becoming the transitional champion here, where Goldberg drops the belt to Braun Strowman so Braun Strowman can drop the belt to Roman Reigns once all this mess is done. So I'm going to give the win a new WWE Universal Champion, Braun Strowman. Up next, we have Rhea Ripley defending the NXT Women's Championship against the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble this year, Charlotte Flair. Another match that's had some pretty good build leading up to it. And I think this has a chance to be a wonderful match. I hope Rhea Ripley gets the win here. Charlotte Flair is as established as a superstar as you can get on the main roster. And Rhea Ripley, she's great. And she needs this chance to go ahead and go in there, defeat her. Charlotte has ended Asuka's winning streak at WrestleMania. Charlotte's had her WrestleMania moments. This could make a star out of Rhea Ripley. And not only Rhea Ripley, but if they go out there and have a great match, this can make even more of a light shine on NXT, because the NXT champion defeats a woman who has had multiple championship runs with the Raw and SmackDown women's titles. So I definitely see Rhea Ripley coming out the win here. She's got the most to gain. It'd be the best outcome. And up next, and finally, we have the 16th match, the singles match for the WWE Championship. The winner of the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre, challenging the champion Brock Lesnar. The winner here is Drew McIntyre. It's Drew McIntyre, and I feel so bad for him because he's waited so long to get this moment and to get this opportunity, and to now be in a situation where it's in front of no one and there's no huge payoff at the end for winning this belt right now. In front of a crowd, in front of your family in the audience and whatnot. It's a crappy moment for a guy who deserves to be in front of an audience, but what can you do? I mean, the situation in the world is the situation right now. So Brock Lesnar also, we've been aware that Brock Lesnar has been very over on Drew McIntyre. We know that he told Drew to grab the belt, the third Claymore that night on Raw. Brock Lesnar is a fan of Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar is willing to make Drew McIntyre look very good, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to have a hell of a match between the two. It's going to be a quick one. I imagine it's going to be full of suplexes, Claymore kicks, F5s, and a bunch of other false finishes. And I see Brock Lesnar doing the deed for Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre picking up the win in his first reign as WWE Champion. So a quick run through. We have Otis getting the win over Dolph Ziggler, with most likely Mandy Rose being the cause of it. We have the Kabuki Warriors retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships over the Alexa Bliss and Nicki Cross. We have Sami Zayn retaining the Intercontinental Championship over Daniel Bryan with the help of Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. We have Edge defeating Randy Orton in his return match in the Last Man Standing. We have Elias beating King Corbin in a singles match. We have Alistair Black defeating Bobby Lashley in a singles match. We have the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, retaining the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships against Austin Theory and Angel Garza. We have the Usos winning a triple threat ladder match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day and The Miz and John Morrison. We have Kevin Owens picking up the win over Seth Rollins. We have The Undertaker defeating AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. Sasha Banks winning the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship in a fatal 5-way against Bayley, Lacey Evans, Naomi, and Tamina. We have The Fiend, Bray Wyatt defeating John Cena in a Firefly Funhouse match. We have Shayna Baszler defeating Becky Lynch for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. We have Braun Strowman defeating Goldberg for the WWE Universal Championship. We have Rhea Ripley retaining the NXT Women's Championship over Charlotte Flair. And we have Drew McIntyre defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. We have a weird build-up, guys. We have a weird WrestleMania to all watch together this Saturday and Sunday. And as much as it doesn't feel like WrestleMania and as weird as it's going to be, I can't help but to say that I'm excited because it's still WrestleMania season. It's still WrestleMania, and we're living through history. We are a part of history to be able to sit there and say we watched the one time WrestleMania was completely empty. We watched that while it happened. So whenever we're like 70 years old and we're talking to our kids and we got them into wrestling and they're watching these crazy WrestleManias with all these new stars, we can go back and show them this and say this is the one time it happened and we got to watch this. So weird times, guys. Everybody please stay safe. Do everything you have to do to stay safe during this pandemic. And I'm thinking about everybody's families. I'm thinking about everybody involved, everybody in a financial situation right now because of this. And just let's just go into this weekend and enjoy WrestleMania for what it is. Let's not pick it apart too much because at least they are providing us with 2 nights of entertainment instead of 1. So it's WrestleMania 36 time, baby. Let's go. I'm going to have more Jeff Hardy figure videos coming soon as well, guys. So thank you very much. This has been Nick's Picks for WrestleMania 36.